Good evening, and thank you for tuning in to Community Updates 313. I'm your host, Michelle White, and this evening we've got a phenomenal guest. We have none other than Judy Kennard, who is running for city council. She's the city council candidate for the city of Romulus, Michigan. And she's a dedicated public servant. She has a master's degree. She's a Master Board Member Award of Distinction recipient, and she's
All right
committed
now.
to financial transparency, safe and high performing schools, parent enrichment initiatives, expanding pathways to skilled trade jobs, growing S.T.E.M programs. And she's just a wonderful person to be running, and probably proudly served Romulus as a dedicated school board trustee since 2018, earning the trust of voters through 2 full 4-year terms. Drawing on her extensive background in financial management and educational administration, Judy has provided a steady leadership as school board president and committee chair. She has championed initiatives to expand S.T.E.M and skilled trade programs, ensuring that Romulus students gain the skills needed for college, careers, and a competitive future. Judy her record reflects her commitment to accountability, opportunity, and progress for every family in our communities. So again, thank you, Judy, for being our guest today. I didn't introduce my co-host, Robert White.
No. That's perfectly fine. What up, though, Detroit? We are here to bring on a phenomenal woman that's running for city council. So without further ado, Judy Kennard, how you doing?
Hi, how are you?
We're doing great. We're doing great.
Hi.
Blessed.
Thank you for having me.
So why are you here? Why are you running for city council? Give us some updates.
Well, I'm running because I believe Romulus deserves an experienced, compassionate leadership. And I feel that I'm ready for the task. Again, you have provided some of my credentials and my experiences. And believe it or not, I was sitting there thinking, is that all me? Did I do all? and there's a lot more to add to it, but for this purpose in which we're here today for, I believe that I'm ready for that next move. The citizens of Romulus are ready for me, those that I've spoken with over a period of time, and those who signed my petition to say we want you to take that next step. And so I'm here for the residents. I'm looking to help move along the progress of the city and also listen to our residents.
Wonderful. Awesome. So Judy, why are you told us why you're running, and what do you think makes you the best candidate for the seat? Because we know the election is coming up very soon.
Well, what makes me a good candidate for the seat is that I have a proven track record of leadership and service. And service is the most important thing for anyone who's running for this type of seat and who wants to serve the community as well and as large. I have a background, as you previously mentioned, in finance management and education administration. All of those things encompasses some of the things I've done that I see will be a benefit to moving forward to the next phase of moving our city forward.
Mm-hmm.
And I also want to know, yes, go ahead.
I was going to ask, so what are some of the things that you feel like will actually help move this? Like, what are two of the, just give me two top challenges that you feel like, hey, as city council, this is what I'm going to push because these are the challenges that I see right now going on within the city.
Well, first we need to strengthen our local economy, and by supporting our small businesses and attracting industries to our community that will create jobs for our residents. We're doing a good job of it, but we need to be better with doing that. And we need to continue our partnership with our educational system so that we can attract families to our community to ensure that our students receive a quality education and make sure that they're able to compete beyond the 12th grade. And second, as a financial minded leader that I am, I understand how to prioritize long-term solutions without waste, ensuring that investments serve the people not just a process, but we serve the people. So those are the two main things I'm looking at. We're doing what we're doing as a community, like many other communities, but we need to do a better job of it. And I think with my skills and what my experience is, I'll be able to add to that.
Awesome. I can definitely see that you've already been putting it in action because obviously, within our community, we always are a little skeptical of like, hey, well, everybody says that, but you've
Yeah.
been putting in the work prior to, so it's not something that is new to you. What do they say? You're not new to this. You're true to this, right? So it's something that you've been doing already,
Well,
which I think is very commendable. Go ahead.
No, thank you. Even serving on the school board, that's one avenue. But
Mhm.
long before the school board, I've been serving in the community growing up. That's what my parents have, first they put into the minds of myself and my siblings. We've always been service to the community in some way, fashion, or form. We grew up serving. And so
Mm.
not knowing what that meant at such a young age, when they tell you to do certain things or to go visit the elderly or to work out with nonprofits or whatever, we were doing that when we were young. Didn't understand it. Then when I got into the workforce and started looking at things in communities, not outside of just residential, but within organizations, encompassing all of that together. You have your organizational, you have your residential, you have your nonprofit, and I've touched bases in every last one of those areas, and now I can bring all of that together and help move Romulus to
I love
progress.
that. Love
Okay.
that.
So one of the things you mentioned nonprofits, and I mentioned the White, that's spelled WYTE Charity Foundation just moved. You have some different cultures of residents. We just had a Filipino lady for the Philippines just moved into your area, and the White Charity Foundation came out and filled up her home with her apartment with furniture. So is the city experiencing a lot of other cultures maybe moving to the area? Do you know?
Well, the demographics of Romulus is 46% white, Black Americans 44, and 8% other races.
Okay.
So that's what makes up Romulus. So it is a diverse community, even
That's
with those
good.
percentages.
Mm-hmm.
So from my experience and my observation, I feel that we're a community where we are friendly, we're exclusive, we're family oriented, we're unique, and we're incredible. And if you take all of that, we need to have that where people know more about that. So they want to come to our community and be a part of our community. And so if there are some necessary steps, I think with those things that I just mentioned, those are the key elements, along with partnership with our educational system. When people look and say, what community I want to live in? So what's so unique about Romulus? And those are some of the things we need to work on, I feel. I think with my expertise and my creativity and the things that I've done over the years and building other communities, I said, why not bring my skill set to the city of Romulus? So I feel that Romulus have done, and I'm giving kudos to my city. Okay. I left and went and did my career, and I came back, and I'm one of the ones who came back and who have an interest and who have compassion, who has the heart to saying that we can be and can be the best city or a recognized city on the map. We have a metropolitan airport that sits right in the middle of it. We have thousands and millions of people who come into our city. So when they come into our city and they have layover time, or we should be in a national magazine or whatever, I want to have something to do while I'm here. So why not have Romulus as the hub? So I'm looking at the vision of what can we do to attract the uniqueness, the family origin, the exclusiveness, continue to be friendly, and to make Romulus an incredible place to live in.
And like you said, you're right by the airport. So, and
Yes,
I know a lot of people come right through there because you're so close to the airport.
okay.
So that makes you a convenient city to live in as well.
Right. And so Romulus is 24 miles from Detroit, 22 miles from Ann Arbor, 86 miles from Lansing, and square radius of Romulus is 35.98 square mile radius.
So just a question for you. So as far as like the the downtown revitalization and the economic decline. How do you guys plan, like, because I think that there's a lot of things that can be pushed forward, especially when it comes to the vacancy in the downtown. Like, how do you guys plan to, what's something that you would say, hey, this is where I plan to implement this thing, especially coming from an educational standpoint, knowing that we have the next generation that's trying to take over the city. What do you plan to do to mitigate that?
Well, are you speaking of downtown Romulus?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. Downtown Romulus, I'm sorry.
Well, we do have planning. We do have plans in the making, and it's ongoing.
Okay.
When you're
Okay.
developing, one of the things you didn't mention, I didn't have it, I probably didn't share, is that one of my degrees, my undergraduate degrees, is in administration, public administration, and community development. So I've got an opportunity to develop communities at an organizational level, but not on a community level as in terms of residential, but I've always had the interest of doing that. So I think that from what I know, I can't give you specifics in terms of what
Yes.
they're doing, but I am fully aware of the fact that our city have boards. We have administration who are looking at that on a continuous basis. I know we've done surveys to find out what best will fit our city and our needs, and as we maintain our foundation of who we are as a city and not losing that with the changes that's around us. We have communities around us who are developing or developed. Robbins is pretty much that friendly, that family oriented, that uniqueness, but at the same time, we're in the middle of metropolis. We're in the middle of development all around us. And so we have to find and look at, while we maintain that, how can we stay in the race? So that's one of the things that if I am elected by the citizens is to take a look at what the plan was back then.
Yeah.
Where we are now, what can we do to get us there with the plan? And then I will come back with the solution with how. And also take note, sitting in the capacity of being on a city council, it's a seven-person council. So that means that things come before us, the council has to review it because you have multiple boards who do the due diligence to bring that information, the opportunity to the community, and see how we can bring all that together with the administration and a sense of what industry and a sense of what community and what that feels while we maintain our identity.
And Ms. Judy Kennard, how will you make sure the residents' voices are heard in the city decision making?
Well, as a public servant, it's important. My priority would be being accessible and responsive.
Having an open door policy.
Okay, so by serving in the capacity as an elected official that I am currently, those are two key elements that I feel that have made me successful, is because I am accessible, whether it's meeting people, whether they're calling me, whether I'm responding via communications and so forth, and meetings and forums, and have subcommittees, and I'm there and I'm approachable. I've always asked people, sometimes you have people around you and people are patiently waiting. It's not because I don't see you, it's because the attention is going from person to person. But just come back, ask me. I'm more than happy to sit down and have a conversation with anyone, regardless of who it is. And if I don't have the response, have the answer, better believe I'll get back with them.
So I think that's wonderful. When people when public officials do town hall meetings or keep themselves having an open door policy, I think that is wonderful, because people don't feel so far away from you, that they can reach out and touch you, that they can ask questions. So that's wonderful. Robert, you were getting ready to say?
No, yeah, I was going to go ahead.
Okay, I was going to add to that. And you're absolutely right. In the profession that I'm in finance, sometimes people come to you and they really don't know what it is. It can be a crazy idea or whatever. They're thinking that it's way off base, but any idea, any conversation is responsive. I believe that Romulus residents should be heard. They deserve to be heard and know that their input truly matters.
Yes.
And that's with anything, that's with anybody. That has been my foundation to my success in my career, is making people feel valued, making people feel that they are heard, making people feel they got my undivided attention.
I love that. I love that. So what's some, well, especially with the height of everything that's going on after, the Charlie Kirk death, and now there's a lot of backlash, and especially a few things going on within the city of Michigan. I mean, it's all over the United States right now domestically, but what's something that you plan to do to keep the neighborhood safe, clean, and, welcoming?
Well, first of all, we have services, and we have those individuals and those people who have service. They're providing services to our community. They're saying, I want to be here. I want to do this. And so you have to allow individuals to do their jobs. Okay. But at the same time, we have to, the residents should have a sense of security. So we're going to continue. I will continue to advocate for those who have concerns and who bring those things to my attention, and take it to those who handle those things, because you got to allow them to do what they're doing.
Right.
So when it comes to security, when it comes to those types of services, whether it's for the elderly, for the young, for even a person such as myself that's in between, we all have to have a sense of security. Okay. And so whatever that may mean, constantly sitting down and reviewing our policies, those types of things that come before us from the boards or from administration. As a council person, my key thing is to listen, to discuss, and to hear what the needs are, do my due diligence before I make a decision, before decisions are made, have those types of conversations with leadership, to be able to communicate to others, whatever the task, whatever is needed, to stay on top of today's technology, to be aware of the types of things of terms of what does security actually mean for the city. I mean, and what those things are, I can't sit here and factually say, because I haven't looked at anything. I can just off of the top of my head, knowing from what I know, that's important. People security, family security, the well-being of the residents, things that come into before us, being able to make those types of decisions where it's factual. The emotional piece in the decision making for me is secondary. I'm a factual decision maker.
And I love that you're saying the word factual, because we know in some of our current administration, they are not always telling the facts.
Yeah.
And so we want to make sure that everything is factual.
Yeah.
And as far as security, we want to make sure that the local businesses, I know you mentioned about supporting the local businesses, helping to create new jobs. And so that means more security. We see with our school systems around the country that there's always some type of killing, too often, not always, but too often, some type of shooting. And so we have to keep the security around our school system even tighter. And that's unfortunate, but it's just our reality right now.
And so, and to capture what you're just saying, safety and the quality of life go hand in hand. It goes hand in hand. And I'll support a strong community policy partnership. And I think I might have kind of skated over, mentioned it a few minutes ago.
You did.
And to ensure that our first responders have what they need to do their jobs. And so that's a conversation that needs to happen. That's an ongoing conversation in many cases. And I would also push for neighborhoods beautification incentives. Romulus, when I'm looking at Romulus and I'm driving and people come into our cities from all areas, all corners, what do they think of Romulus when they see it? Is the community clean? Is the code enforcements? Are we practicing that? So I need to take a look at all of those things. And all while encouraging residents, I want the residents to take pride with a clear plan of ownership in the place that they call home.
Absolutely.
I
So
agree.
is that something that you plan to do, or maybe I should just ask you, is that a part of your plan as far as the infrastructure for the roads and the
Yes.
you know, the water system and the parks and things like that? Do you plan to upgrade that as well as you talking about like safety? And when people drive in, the first thing you want to see, especially, you know, I'm in Austin, Texas right now, but living in Detroit and just Metro Detroit my entire life, that's one of the things that for sure needs to change is the roads. Those roads, you get in the summer or the winter time, and you can hit a
Oh, yeah.
pothole and the whole car will fall in. So is that something that you plan to work on?
Yes. And, believe it or not, I did hit a pothole a couple years ago, and it actually did blew my tire out. I am
See,
Oh my goodness.
yeah,
Right now we've got
and
so
that's
much
dangerous.
construction going on here everywhere.
yeah, it's
But that
all over.
is dangerous. And that's by design, though, too. Our roads are designed to break down the asphalt every year.
Yeah.
That's part of what keeps our economy going. We don't
Well,
like it, but it's the reality.
Yeah.
Yes,
a
sir.
lot of the companies use salt, and it's due to and I'm speaking as a novice on this, but a lot of it from what I've seen here, like they don't use a lot of salt; they use sand
Yeah, that's what I was
because
getting ready to say.
it doesn't eat the road up as much. However, there's so much more snow up north where you guys are that it's impossible for you guys to use sand in the same way because there's not as much snow we have down here. If there's a small ice storm where
You
there's snow
guys
on the
get a
ground,
sliver of
everybody
snow.
shut down. So
Well,
so
I was yeah, you're absolutely correct. I was out of Michigan one year, in Texas, as a matter of fact. And for what they close their business and operations down for, we up north would say
you
what?
laugh.
I
You're
was
like,
I was
what?
laughing. I go there in the winter and I was laughing like, seriously, guys, this
Yeah,
sliver of snow you need to shut down. Where's
We
your
closed
backbone?
down. We closed down not even because if there's any snow, just because of the weather. If it's less than 20 degrees, you don't have to leave the house.
yeah, yeah,
They
you're
tell you to
absolutely
stay in
right.
it.
Yeah, you're correct. Yeah, so getting back and answering your question, how do I plan to improve the infrastructure like roads, water systems,
Mhm.
and parks? Well, as someone who understands the importance of both planning and budgeting, okay,
Yeah.
that's my career goal. That's my career
Mhm.
path. That's what I've done.
Planning and budgeting.
I will work to secure state and federal funding while making sure the city's dollars are spent wisely.
Mhm.
The infrastructure projects, I believe when you're doing project management, should be prioritized by the need and impact. And I don't know, I'm not familiar with what that is because I'm not sitting in those seats now, but that will be a part of the phase. And whether it's potholes, and then you mentioned the potholes, aging pipes. I've seen some of that being replaced, and underused parks. We do have some parks in our city. I'll ensure Rumness move forward with a clear plan and measurable results. I'm a resultful. One of the things I also do was I was responsible for the demographics of the institution of the university. So it was
Okay.
my job to provide that information about the demographics so it was nationally known or whatever. So the same thing for Rumness. I could take those skills, help drive that or communicate that with those who have the responsibility. So I would come to the table with what's not just serving as the council person, but with a clear understanding of how to communicate that and how to advocate that, and also communicate that to those who may come to me, or to communicate those who have the experience working with that, to let them know what that may and how those results are coming about. And so that's the main thing, is making sure that the results as we do our project and moving them along the spectrum, that the residents of Romulus, not only the residents, anyone who comes to me, when they walk away, they have a clear understanding. And I know that I'm doing my job when they tell me that, okay, I got it now. I understand and I see that.
Mhm.
Now, how does that come into play? And not to throw a wrench in there, but how does that come into play with the taxpayers, right? So does that increase now? And obviously, I get you got to have funding somewhere, but does that affect, especially you as the financier, and you're saying, hey, you know, how does that affect us if we're in the city and then the HOA fees go up? And then is that something that's like, hey, we're going to minimize the cost? Or
Okay, you're asking me something that homeowner associations, they have their own governing
right.
laws.
But yeah. So I mean, like, you know, like just the city taxes. Yeah.
Yeah. So taxes are associated differently from the HOAs. Okay. And so as bonds and those things and taxations and things are created and developed, we have to sit down at the table. Those individuals who has the responsibility for those jobs day to day, the vision that's being communicated from those administrators comes before the board, but actually goes before the finance committee. We have to review those things. We have to ask questions in terms of what's being brought forth to us. And then once it comes before the board, you have to have discussions. You have to have discussions with the residents. You got to hear what the residents and what they're thinking. And they want to know why. They want to know how. They want to know what their tax dollars are paying for. They want to know, and they want to see it. Not only know it, they want to see what's already being done. There's a process. This is a process when you implement taxation and when you increase things that you will want the residents to financially support. And it has to be clear. The reasoning behind it has to be clear. So my job, and so the cavalier to this, if I'm sitting there, I have a finance background. I have a budgeting background. I have a creativity.
So you've got the skill set.
I have the skill sets, but at the same time, I'm creative. You know, there's a will, there's a way. Okay, I'm always looking for the opportunities that's out the box, but within legal law.
Right. And even having the neighborhood associations, I know would be coming to the city council meetings of what you're running for city council. I just wanted to put that in there again. And so they would be coming to, and the associations, there are monies available through the government to help create parking, improve parking play spaces, not parking, but play spaces, and improve, have gardening, different gardening grants. And so if is Romulus already partaking in some of that to improve for the beautification, or if not, they should be.
I believe I can't say if what I'm aware of, but I can assume that they would be. I have the utmost confidence that we're not functioning in a silo where we don't have a person or people or administration who are looking at and working with state level and looking at those things. I'm going to say, and hopefully we do have someone who's constantly looking at what's out there. Okay.
If not, that's a good job position.
It could be. So, and I do know that I did hear just recently that there were some grants that we received to help us with our roads, fixing of our residential streets, our downtown area. We've gotten grants to help us develop some things in our downtown Romulus. And we do have a contact person who's a former council person by the name of Mr. Alan Wilson, who's the Wayne County Commissioner for our district. I plan to partner with him and work with him more regularly, on a regular basis, to find out what can we do. Not only that, I've sat at the table in my career with individuals who can help or who can, and when I say help, work with me, know who I am at the state level, okay, various things with my career, during my career with nonprofits, higher education, and so forth. And those people are still there, and they remember who I am. I'm also a part of the 13th Congressional District Democrat Party, where I'm an executive leader there, where I still have those types of connections. So I still have connections that can help, as being a council person, and working with those individuals that are statewide and outside of the state, going to, areas and seeing what's out there and seeing what we can do to help and to bring things to Romulus. I have the know-how. I have a history of getting it done and finding out how it would work, and then communicating that to others.
And when you were working with the school board,
I'm still in the school board.
I mean, you're still in the school board, but
Yeah.
how are you all it's very important to get the parents involved.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't call it PTA anymore. I forget what they call it right now. But that's so important. And have you all been able to get the parents involved in the education of their children, and not just sending them off and expecting the school to do everything, to teach them, to train them, to educate them in social skills and home training, some personal home training that parents they have to be involved in that. It's not just up to the schools to do everything.
Well, that's a question that's a type discussion that we have constantly, and that is how to keep parents engaged, the services, the things that parents and families should be doing versus what the district should be doing. And I'll take it a step further, even in our community, residents, what we should be doing, what industry should be doing, how do you bring and bridge all that together? Those are ongoing conversations. Okay. And I think, in every city, in every school district, those are things and avenues that we look at on a continuous basis to say, how do we improve and how do we get people involved? I come from a family of educators. I have a sister who's in K-12 herself. And before I became a board member, I would hear all of these things, about what's going on in the educational system. And that's what prompted me to run for school boards, because I couldn't believe it. I didn't believe it. And so I went into the classroom and I did substitute teaching, and I observed that. Then I went to the meetings. I sat there and I observed was going through a time of transition in the Romulus School District at that particular time. I sat in the back of the room and I observed what I saw there. And even with the city council, I sat to the far right and I observed what was going on, and my thoughts came to me. And I went to other outside of Romulus, other districts, other council meetings. And, every city has
some best practices.
Right. It's unique. Every city, every school district has a certain uniqueness, and everybody has to play their part.
That's so true. When my son was younger, I just was a concerned parent. And my parents, my mother in particular, would come and sit in the classroom and observe, just as a concerned parent. And I swore that I was not going to do that same thing, but I ended up doing that same thing to observe. And the city that we I still live in that city. It was just at the onset when an influx of people of color were coming to that city. And they wanted to put everybody on Ritalin. I said, no, they don't need, my son doesn't need Ritalin. So let me go sit in the classroom and let me see what's going on in the school so I can make a more informed decision. And I saw that they were teenager girls sitting on the boys' laps. And I just saw that the teacher didn't have control of her classroom, not because she wasn't a good teacher, but because she needed an in-service. In-service needed to be done so they could learn the different culture that was moving into the city that they were not accustomed to. And all of the music with the cussing and all that kind of stuff. I said, here I am not playing that at home, not allowing that. And you guys are playing it in the lunchtime. So how about we stop that? It's just important for the community. When you live in a particular community, you need to support and buy from that community. Support that barbershop, support that nail salon in your area. Before I know it, they had made me a city commissioner. But I was just a concerned parent.
So actually going that way. So how do you plan to support the youth and the seniors and those underserved families in Romulus?
Well, just as I'm doing now, I'm
Mhm.
listening to them, I'm communicating with them, and and ensuring that they know that I'm the individual that they can come to. I'm accessible, and taking that information and getting back with them on it. As a matter of fact, I had a meeting, well, not a meeting. I ran into a couple of seniors the other day, and they told me to help them.
Mhm.
Okay, and I says help you. Okay, and so what does help mean? Help to
Mhm.
everybody is different.
Absolutely.
And the only way you're going to know that is if you take the time
Talk
to
to
have that compassion, uh,
Mhm.
regardless of who that individual is, and knowing that everybody are coming from all walks of life. Okay,
Mhm.
and so
Mhm.
I listened to their concern, and the fact that I sat there and listened and just and gave them my honest opinion. Um, and that number one thing is that I can't do it by myself.
Mhm.
Mhm.
It takes a village. It takes a
Okay.
village to raise the
And
children, and it takes a village to
yeah,
have a good
yeah,
community, a
yeah,
strong community. It takes
uh-huh,
everyone.
yeah. And
Mhm.
so, and knowing that I can't do it by myself is
Mhm.
that um, I can find out if I don't have didn't have the resources, but I happen to was able to provide them with the input that they needed.
Mhm.
And I told them that this would not be the last time you see me. Um, the same thing goes with the same thing and keeping your word.
Mhm.
You know, I keep my
Mhm.
word. If I tell you I'm going to do something and I'm going to be there, I'll be there. Um, and so that trustworthiness is something that's established. People have to trust you. They have to know that you're sincere. People often assume certain things, but the thing of it
Mhm.
is that if you give the person the opportunity, you surround yourself with those and going into the environments in which you know and listening to people and just giving them a helping hand. If I've done that all my life, that's another thing. My
Mhm.
family, that's what my parents installed in me and my siblings. You
Mhm.
know, we're
Mhm.
givers.
Mhm. That's
So,
wonderful.
Like
so,
right there.
no, so speaking of that, because obviously we have so many times now where clickbait becomes the thing, right? It's like, hey, if you see this clip, this may not be the whole thing, but things are over here and things are over there. And we saw that a lot within the past few weeks. How would you because everybody wants to go, oh, well, show me the whole thread, show me the whole video, because we're tired of being lied to, right? And so how do you ensure transparency within the council decision moving forward?
Well, for me, moving forward is as and I stated it a few minutes ago, is being
Yeah.
accessible. Okay, being accessible and letting the individual know that um, I'm there, hearing them and letting them feel valued. Okay,
Mm.
and not in the way that I make decisions is fact find. Um, it depends on if it's something that I need to research or whatever. I'm not going to stand here and tell you that I can do this,
Mhm.
I can do that. When in
Mhm.
fact, working on the council, even though I have all the experiences and also I've had the career background in doing, things depending on what it is
Mhm.
that I can speak definite on. My job is to make sure that the residents understand that they're first, understand that whether it's a yes or a no, you're going to know the why,
Mhm.
and I'm going to tell
Mhm.
you the how, and then
Mhm. I like that.
the decisions can be determined by the information that I provided you with. Now, if you want to know my opinion, you have to ask me.
Okay, so what's your opinion?
Right, you have to ask me for my opinion.
Yeah.
What is your opinion on A, B, C, and D?
Yeah.
Right.
And it is an assumption. Okay. And the first thing
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, well, if we're talking and we're speaking, well, this is the factual, this is what it said, this is what I know, this is how I can do it. But to say that I can do this by myself, no, you can't.
Mhm.
Mm.
It's going to take everyone to work together.
Absolutely.
The city
Right.
council, the mayor, the whole governmental
The
system,
whole, the
as
whole, just
well
the
as the
whole thing.
communities.
Yes.
Mhm.
So what's your, if you're elected, what do you see moving forward for, the next 5 to 10 years?
I see a vibrant Romulus. I see a Romulus on the map where people, when they get off that airplane, they're saying, over in Romulus, they have this. I can
Not
go
that
and get
far either. Not that
it. It's
far
not
either
that
from the
far.
airport.
I see people when they come into the Detroit Metropolitan Airport, before they go to Detroit, before they go to Ann Arbor, they're saying Romulus is this quaint city. It's this
Mhm.
safe city. It's a city where people could thrive. Opportunities are here. Um, the people are friendly. We have something that people all over are looking forward to experience.
Mhm.
Okay, so what that means is that we have to look at the planning of the city,
Mhm.
in terms of what back in the previous years that they thought it would be, where we are, what we've accomplished, how we're doing now, and to see is it still functionable, and then to make some adjustments to that and say, look, this is where we're going. How can Romulus be that quaint city? How can Romulus maintain who we are, but not get lost and swallowed by the surrounding area as a
Mhm.
city that's still? So when you're looking at industry, looking at residential, looking at increasing our education, everybody all over is having issues with the educational system. But we need to look at what will make us unique, where people will come and want to live in Romulus and stay and be safe. So I envision Romulus to be a vibrant city. I envision Romulus to be a city, a place where people will want to come
Mm.
to experience quaintness, to experience that hometown feeling, but at the same time, experiences, buildings, um,
You have
establishments,
restaurants. You have some
restaurants
nice
and
restaurants.
stores,
Yes,
and things where
stores. Yeah.
people, right, where people will want to come and say, this is Romulus is a great getaway at the same time, and then support
Mhm.
our community.
Wonderful. So tell us how people can get in touch with you. What is your web address? And I know the election is November the 4th, and so we want
Yeah.
to make sure that we check Judy Kennard's name on for those of you who are voting in the Romulus area. You want to make sure that you put it in really good. Mark it in well. And
Okay. Well, first of all, my number that they can always reach me at. I have a number for contact, which is
mhm,
734-218-3919. I also
okay.
have a web address, and it's www.vote, VOTE, the number 4, JudyKennard.com. And I also have an email address. It is vote4Kennard@gmail.com.
Can we follow you on anything
Go
social?
ahead.
Instagram, Facebook, TikTok.
Where they're the www.vote4JudyKennard.com will take you to the Facebook.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, okay, cool. I like
All
that.
of
I
it.
love that.
There's a QR code. There's a QR code on my literature, and it'll
Mhm.
take you to all of those pages.
Awesome, awesome.
And for
Because
those who want to
us,
follow me on Facebook, you can just look at my name, Judy Kennard. It'll
perfect,
pop.
perfect. Us young people, we need a TikTok or an Instagram.
You know
No,
what?
no, no.
Just because you mentioned that, when today I'm gonna have, I'll
Yeah.
make I'll make sure I have one of those.
And I'm gonna follow you too. I'm gonna follow
I
you
know
too.
you
So
are. Okay, I know you.
yeah.
And that's how people even I was listening when I was listening to the news radio on the radio today, they
Mhm.
were giving the stats on the fact that people aren't reading. They're finding out their news now via TikTok and Instagram and Reels. That's
Oh,
how the majority of people are finding out the news now.
oh yeah, that's true. And so
Well,
Mhm.
I also, since you mentioned that, I also want to let your viewers know that I'm planning to have a meet the candidate.
No.
Um, it says vote yes to progress, which I'm asking those for in the community. They can join me Saturday, October 11th. It's going to be at one of our hometown establishments, which is called Bar 101, from 7:30 to 1. And that will be the time where we are people from the community get a chance to meet me in a different environment where we can have good fun and laughter. We're gonna have comedian, and we're gonna have some poetry reading, and just have a good time. So if anyone in Romulus is around and they want to hop in for a few minutes, the opportunity is there for them to do so.
Please share that location with us again. I know you said bar 101, I
It's
believe.
bar 101. The address is 31222 Ecorse Road, Romulus, Michigan.
Awesome.
And that date, that'll be Saturday, the October the 11th.
Right.
Go out and meet the
you're welcome.
candidate.
I'm sending you the invitation.
I might stop. Thank you, please. I was going to say share the flyer or whatever you have, and
I'll share it with.
Post it on all the social media.
Yeah, I'll have my.
What time will it be?
From 7:30 to 1.
Okay. And so my last question. Well, I have two more, but my last question about this particular segment is, because I love everything that you're standing for, but for the people that are in the city of Romulus, as it pertains to the other people that are running for city council, why should they vote for you over anybody else?
So let me give you a little background. There are 14 of us running, and only.
You still there, Judy?
It froze for a moment.
Ooh.
She froze. You still here? Okay.
Yeah, there she is.
There you are. There you are.
Froze
Okay,
up for a moment. So you said there are 14 of you running.
14 of us running.
Okay. 14 of us are running. 7 of us will be elected.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
And you will be number one.
And so I hope and plan that the residents of me is one of the 7.
And you come with the experience.
Yes, my accountability has always been at the heart of how I serve. I will continue to show up, listen, respond, and report back. I promise you that. And the residents of Romulus will always know where I stand. Okay, and what I'm working on and how to reach me. They can always reach me. And I won't be making any promises that I can't keep, but I will always fight to turn your voice into action. And so my closing remarks, I'm assuming this is our closing remarks, that I'm running because I believe in Romulus, deserve an experienced, compassionate, and committed leader that serve the people. And so Romulus, let's go Romulus, let's move forward together. Vote yes to progress, guided by, and I'm gonna tell you, my platform is, I'm being guided by your voice, your city, your future with results that matter. Vote Judy Kennard for City Council.
All right.
I love that.
I'm excited. I love that too.
Yeah. So I have one more question for you, but it's nothing to do with that. This is just more so of a Metro Detroit thing. We call it our top 3 things to do in Detroit. Right. So what are your top 3 things, if I'd never been there, that you would say, hey, this is where you need to go?
Well, first of all, you got to come to Romulus Eagle Alley.
Okay.
You got to come.
You said Eagle Alley?
Eagle Alley. And I'm not going to tell you what it is. You got to come. Okay. You got to come and experience Eagle Alley.
You've intrigued me. I'm coming to Eagle Alley.
So that's the first thing. The next thing, I've always been intrigued by Belle Isle. You got to drive Belle Isle. Or if you are riding your bike, or you want to jog, or you want to put your feet in the water, you got to go to Belle Isle. Another thing, you should experience Charles Wright Museum or the DIA.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of this. I don't care what you do, whatever, but you have got to experience a Lions football game.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's go Lions. We are number 1 in our division right now.
That's right.
It's looking really hopeful.
You got to experience a Lions football game. And then when you come, let me know you're here. Let me know that you're in the city. We can go there.
Well, this is Community Update. Judy Kennard, we thank you for coming on to our podcast. Remember to get out there and vote. You all have a good time. This is Community Update 313. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Good night. Have a good one.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Good night. Thank you.